Good morning, family. Well, we had a little bit of a break only because we took a trip up to Canada to see my wife's family and friends and people that we haven't seen for about 5 years. Long time. Anyway, my name is Jack. The name of the channel is In Search of Purpose Today. So, what is the purpose today? Well, maybe it's about perspective. While we were in Canada, I unfortunately had a trip and fall, and that caused massive damage to my right hamstring, and we're just dealing with that. So, as many of you know, I had a stroke back in August of 2025, so we're dealing with that. And now, as a consequence, we're dealing with this. So what is the lesson for today? The lesson for today is one must take what one gets and keep on going. I mean, you could take the hit and stop. That's a possibility. Or you can take the hit and, believe it or not, look for the lesson. What is the opportunity here? Well, for me, certainly it is to slow down. Well, it was already a lot slower after the stroke, and now after this particular injury, it's an interesting thing, as the saying goes, the hits just keep on hitting. Well, what I want you to consider is that whenever you have an adversity, typically there's an opportunity that comes with that adversity that is equal to the adversity. So, if it's really bad, there is a potential for something really good. But boy, don't you have to look for it. If you stop looking, you're obviously not going to find what you're not looking for. So, when life hands you a circumstance that's very challenging, I hope that you take the opportunity to look for the good. Believe it or not, it's there. You'll find it. I'll let you know when I find out what the good in this particular scenario is. However, between now and then, take each day at a time and live your best possible life, even when things go a little sideways. Some people are, like myself, about 100,000 a year, by the way, have a stroke. As far as hamstring injuries, well, I don't know. There's a lot of those. So stroke recovery, hamstring recovery, life recovery, choosing what's going to happen to you in the next phase, well, guess what? That is totally 100% up to you. You can accomplish amazing things, even in what is referred to by some as a diminished or quote-unquote affected circumstance. So, today, no matter where you're at, no matter what's going on, whether it's financial, physical, emotional, take a minute, sit down, pen and paper, and write out the things that you are currently that you have gratitude for. Amazingly, when you can appreciate what you currently have, I mean, to give you an example, when I woke up August 11th, about half my body had decided to not work. So these days, doing something like being able to touch my fingers and grip solidly is a big thing. So what am I grateful for? Well, I'm grateful that my hand is not just a complete lump that doesn't do anything. Does it work as quickly as the other one? Nah, not yet. See, did you get the word I used? Yet. It's amazing what you can accomplish in a year. And people often overestimate what they can do in a day, and they underestimate what they can do in a year. So you have to give yourself the necessary time to make these adaptive changes, but you can't quit. As they say, use it or lose it. As I say, use it or lose it, because I spent most of my life as a professional fitness trainer. And invariably what we would do when we would begin training a new person, and I use the royal we because it's always a team effort between at least me and the person that I'm working with, We always have to evaluate where you're at. That's what's nice about making your gratitude list. You make a list of the things that you absolutely are appreciative for. The next thing, once we've got our baseline, is we need to select a reasonable destination. It should be better than your best, and it also needs to be believable. So, step 1, what are you grateful for? Step 2, what do you know that you would like? And liking has a couple of steps as well as far as accomplishing, manifesting, as they say. And the manifestation, well, one of the best things to do for that is to be able to take a few minutes and just imagine. Use that beautiful imagination of yours. And imagine how it feels to have what you want. Now, maybe it's like for me, I'm having dreams recently about being able to walk more smoothly and even speak more smoothly, because the stroke seems to have some effect on that. However, and by the way, you'll notice that I don't edit this stuff out of my videos. I don't use any AI because, again, whenever you give something over to a gadget, and I see AI as a gadget, sometimes a useful gadget, but it's a gadget. And anything that you can do with AI, you should certainly be able to do without AI. Might take you longer, that's fine. But if you stop using your creative skills, then you're going to lose those creative skills. And I'm going to strongly recommend that you take the time to figure out what you're grateful for, what you want, and then imagine. Take a few minutes and just imagine every day, morning and night if you can, how it feels to have that which you want. And amazingly, your feeling, I call it the focus factor. Whatever you're focusing on generates a feeling. So if you're feeling horrible, it's probably because you're focusing on something that's not so good, maybe the worst case scenario. So instead, what I want you to do is I want you to focus on something that really makes you feel good and something that you really want. And those two things combined, and I use a technique called I wonder. Not I wonder if, but I wonder when or how this is going to be accomplished. So, take your circumstances where you're at, get your baseline, figure out where you're at, determine what you're grateful for, take a few minutes, decide what you want, and then imagine yourself having it and enjoying all of those benefits. Just like for me, as I was stating earlier before I started to choke up, walking smoothly. If you saw me walking right now, it has been somewhat of a challenge, but it is getting better. So incremental improvement is so important, and recognizing that you are incrementally improving. There's no doubt in my mind that between now and, let's say, next year, 2027, that my walking gait will improve dramatically. I do my exercises every day, which increases the strength on my left foot, which has been doing something called being a drop foot. Yeah, horrible. So I don't want that. I want to be able to walk smoothly and normally. As a matter of fact, people used to stop me when I was going through stores and things. They say, "You're dancing, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." Well, dancing is joyful. And as I'm very fond of saying, and you might have heard it before if you listen to the channel, happy is healthy. Anyway, let's leave it there for today and just take the time to be grateful. Imagine and decide on what it is that you want, and imagine yourself having it and feel the joy. No matter what your current circumstances, you can take yourself to a place of joy. And that's what I want for you today. Have a blessed day, and I will see you soon on the next one. I've really got to get back on my posting schedule so that you guys get some of these life lessons, some of the things that I've spent, well, so far, 68 years learning and dealing with different occurrences that have been many times challenging. However, they've always led to something better. So my goal for you is to get you to the point where you feel much better. Have a blessed day, and I will see you soon.